Hi everyone, welcome to this free masterclass on how to transition into project management in 7 steps, even if you do not have any experience. Now, I want to share a quick disclaimer before you start watching. The masterclass that you're going to start watching, it is a recorded masterclass. It was a live masterclass that I had a couple of weeks ago, and tons of people joined the masterclass, asked me questions, so you'll see me interacting with people. But then after the masterclass, I got a lot of questions, people asking me, hey, Anna, can you share the masterclass? Hey, Anna, can you just let us know how to transition? Those are the people who did not attend. So it is here for you today. Feel free to get as much information as you need to help you transition into project management. I'm hoping that I'm able to answer all your questions, but if I'm not able to answer all your questions at the end of the masterclass, I do have my calendar. Feel free to book a call and meet with me so that if you have any additional questions, I can answer them as well. All right. So here we go. Enjoy this free masterclass to help you learn the steps on how to transition into project management, even without experience. Here you go. Thank you guys for joining. My name is Anna, and I'm super excited that you're here with me today on this free masterclass on how to transition into project management in 7 steps, even if you have no experience. I'm super excited also, and also appreciative of all of you for taking the time, because I know you probably have other things that you want to do with your family, but you are here. And you're here because you probably are wanting to learn something that can help you get closer to your role as a project manager. Or maybe you're just here to learn. It is okay. Whatever it is that you are here for today, I just want to say thank you for joining me today. And I'm hoping that I can share as much information as possible with you to support you, to help you transition into project management. If you have any question, please put them in the chat. My name is Anna Anderson, as I mentioned, and I'm here giving you guys the how to transition into project management in 7 steps, even if you have no experience. So in this masterclass, I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate shift where you are going to break free from, feeling stuck in your current career and transition into a fulfilling project management role, and also just learn those 7 steps that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so my name is Anna Anderson. I am a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a sister and a friend, and professionally, I'm a senior IT project manager. I am a career coach. I am a PMP trainer licensed by PMI, and I am a LinkedIn learning instructor. I do have a course over on LinkedIn called Succeeding in Project Management as an Introvert. And also, I'm probably someone who has been in your shoes. But something that I've figured out along the way is that the most important step toward landing your first project manager role is simply taking action. You are here today because you've taken action. The fear of making the leap is far worse than actually doing it. And I have experienced that myself. So I'm here today leading this masterclass because I have successfully transitioned into project management myself, and I've helped over 150 people do the same as well. They are majority of them working in some of these companies, some of them not featured here, but I do have clients who have transitioned from teaching, some of them who have transitioned from nursing, some of them who have transitioned from stay-at-home moms, immigrating here from other parts of the world, and I've helped them get opportunities within the project management space. So Amazon, AWS, Humana, Intel, Meta, Visa, many other companies, including startups and other companies as well. Okay. But before we continue, please, I'd like you to turn off all your any distractions. Just be here for 60 to 90 minutes because you signed up for this, and I want you to get a value of your time as well. Of course, I want you to ask as many questions, but also I want you to make sure that you are silencing any distractions. So you have your phone or anything that's distracting you from this, please turn it off and just be here for now. Okay. So type in the comments, are we ready to go? I just want to make sure that people are ready to go. So type in the comments if you are ready. I just want to see if you're ready to start. Let's see in the comments. It says she's ready. It says he's ready. Awesome. So let us go ahead and start. Thank you guys. Thank you for being so interactive. So Speaking of being interactive and participating, I'd like you also to share in the chat when you hear the words project management. What comes to mind when you hear the words project management? Share with us in the comments. Facilitator, engineering, agile, okay. Working with different teams, Gaudi says, all right. What other words? Someone who leads project from beginning to the end. That's correct. That's a project manager. Collaborating, PMI, a puzzle ready to solve. I like that, Christina. Yeah, that's awesome. That's what comes to mind. So all that is true. How about project manager, chaos teamer? That is actually true. We manage chaos, supporting people in getting it done. That is true as well. Thanks, Mary Jane. All right. How about project management skills? Which ones do you think you have? Okay, Kenya says communication. That's good. What other project management skills do you think you have? Project management skills? Leadership, delegation, planning, problem solving, communication, being hands-on, collaborating, organizing, communication, organizing. So we can see a common pattern here. There's communication, organizing, prioritization, being a leader. EQ is very, very important. Emotional intelligence. Yes, time management is very, very important as well. Being detail oriented is actually also very, very, all of them are important, and stuff like that. So that's awesome that you guys are sharing. Thanks for sharing all of that. All right. So what's the biggest challenge then for you or the preventing you from transitioning into project management? What's the biggest challenge preventing you from transitioning into project management? That's the biggest challenge. When you think about it, like not having direct experience, okay, not being certified, okay, hard skills, experience. Recruiters don't see a formal title, roles, technical skills, lack of knowledge, real-time experience. Okay, I see a lot of things. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff today. Thank you so much for participating in the chat. So you joined me today because you feel stuck in your current career and are ready to make a change in project management. You also joined me today because you're unsure how to break into project management and need a clear roadmap to follow, or because you just want to land your first six-figure project manager role but aren't sure where to start. So which ones resonate with you? One, two, all of them? One, two, three, one, three. Which ones resonate with you the most? One, you feel stuck, you're feeling stuck, you just want to land your role, fulfillment of your role. Okay, all of them. All right. Two, you are unsure how to break into project management. All right. So somehow, at least one of them, all of them, two of them, at least resonate with you. But what if I told you that, the biggest barrier to landing your first project manager role isn't just experience or qualification, but also your mindset and understanding the right skills. Because once you build the right skills and shift your mindset, landing a project manager role becomes just a matter of following the right steps. I know it's easier said than done, but it's a matter of, mindset shift is very, very critical. But whatever drives you, I'm here for you today. So I'm here to answer all your questions. Last time we went 2 hours plus, but I'm here to answer all your questions today. And I'm here to support you in making sure that at least I've answered your questions in helping you start your journey into project management. But this is my backstory. Way back 2016 and even years prior, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had little kids at that time, under 5 years old. I'd been at a company for 10 plus years, making 50K, but managing very large projects. And I know when you look at 56K, you're probably like, oh, that's good money. But I had little kids. I was doing daycare and all that stuff. So that, paying mortgage and, just all these things, it just adds up. You look at your paycheck at the end of the day, like, what is this? I was not getting any promotions. I had to make a change. So this was 2016. This was my last day at this role. Leaving this role was the biggest biggest first step for me to get out of my comfort zone, because I'd been at this company for 11 years and I'm still very, very good friends with a lot of people at this company. But the only reason I left was pretty much my paycheck. I wasn't being paid much and I was living paycheck to paycheck, literally scrubbing until I get to my next paycheck because of just bills piling and stuff like that. So I made the decision to leave and I left this was my last day on 11/16/2016. And this was my first day on my next role on 11/20/27 in 2016. 2016 after a 2-month search. So I started actively searching for my next role around September because I was just like, I can't continue living like this. And I received my first offer, making $52 an hour, which for me at that time was my step to my 6-figure project manager role. For me, this symbolized freedom. This symbolized growth and knowing my worth. I know, at that time for me, $52 was just like doubling my salary because we were able to pay for a couple of things that were pending, a couple of, debt that we were holding on to my husband and I. So that was a huge, huge deal for me. And of course, I had to take a picture because, it's day one. You just for memory and all that stuff. So yeah, I did take a picture. So this was my first day and this was my offer letter. Many, many opportunities later, including places like Microsoft, getting opportunities at, tech systems with an agency, another company, and you can see the offer letters here and the salary, and how much per hour and stuff like that. So I started at 52, but eventually started going up with this range that I was looking for at that time. Okay. So these experiences taught me a whole lot. They taught me, and I learned that I had the skills to be a senior project manager because the role that I was working on in my prior role, even though I was being given project role stuff to do, like projects to lead and manage, I still didn't have like the title of it and stuff like that. So once I left, I was like, oh my gosh, they started giving me bigger projects. I was like, I have those skills, but I had to get out of that comfort zone. I had to get out of that bubble. I learned that networking is key. During those 2 months before I left, I did a lot of networking, reaching out to people at places that I wanted to work at. I did a lot of that. I learned, and lessons learned also helped me build a program to guide others learn 6-figure jobs. Because when I got my role, of other offers started coming because now I was actively interviewing. I learned that following a process and a roadmap is important in this journey. And now I know what it takes to get unstuck and build a thriving project manager career. And I'm going to show you how. So let's get started. We are going to first understand what is project management, experiences, and essential skills that you need as well. Networking, marketing, branding, educations, and your certifications, how to confidently prepare for project manager interviews and overcome that self-doubt, and then live Q&A. All right. So we are going to do that. And Fernanda, I see you said you applied to Robert Half. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions maybe when you get to applications and stuff like that, because I want to see what you did next after you applied at Robert Half. But let's start with what is project management. PMI, which is a Project Management Institute, says that by 2030, employers will need nearly 88 million people in project-related roles. And because businesses' environment, they're getting more and more global, they're getting digitalized. There's that uncertainty. It's fast. Companies need quick adaptability and bring services and products to the market. And they need us. They need us to help them manage and lead those projects. So, and this is a report from PMI. So according to PMI, project management is the application of knowledge, the application of tools, skills, techniques to project activities to meet the requirements of the project. You plan, you organize, you execute the tasks needed to turn a brilliant idea into a tangible product, maybe a service, or some type of deliverable. Now, there are a couple of key aspects of project management, and this include where you're going to define your scope. So think about some of the things that you're doing on your own. Let's say, you're building a deck or something, or you're fixing your kitchen or something like that. You're going to understand what parts of my kitchen am I going to fix. That's going to be your scope. You're going to identify different deliverables. Like, what do you want to deliver? Do you want to do just your cupboards? Do you want to do your floors? So those are going to be some of your deliverables. You're going to manage risks. You're going to effectively communicate with maybe your vendor, the person who's fixing, the contractor fixing your kitchen, communicate with them. So think some of the things that you're doing every day to support you in understanding what project management is. Okay, so the demand for project management professional is expected to grow significantly across various industries in the coming years. And the global demand is in manufacturing, construction, IT, publishing. We've seen AI and machine learning, these large language models finance, insurance, all these places, management and professional services, utilities, healthcare. There are over 100 roles on platforms like LinkedIn and many other job boards daily. Like if you just go right now and go to LinkedIn and search project manager, and I'm talking about just not the project manager role, I'm talking about project management roles. So the different titles that we'll talk about. But if you go in there, just even search project manager, you'll see over maybe 40,000, 50,000 roles. Then you start adding in maybe other titles like project coordinator, maybe junior project manager, project associate, delivery lead, delivery manager, all those titles, they start adding up and you'll see over 100K roles posted daily on just platforms like LinkedIn. Of course, there's many other job boards, but this is just an example. Okay. Again, as I said, 2030 PMI is projecting so many project professionals in the market and they do need us. So who is a project manager though? So project managers are change agents. We make project goals our own and use our skills and expertise to inspire a sense of shared purpose within a project team. Okay. We enjoy organized adrenaline. Like there's all gonna be that organized chaos, like someone mentioned in the chat. So there's gonna be that. But at the end of the day, your goal is to make sure that you're leading a project to completion within the budget, within the scope, and then also within the timeline. These are just a couple of sample salaries that you can go out there and start seeing, okay, now I want to transition into project management. How much am I going to make? You can go to platforms like built in. So if you're just starting out, you can start at, 96K plus, but you can see this high 5 figures. What I'm seeing with the people that I've helped in my community, a lot of them made 6 figures, whether they're going in as contract workers making some money per hour or full-time roles. I've seen 6 figures. So it's up to you to negotiate so that you're getting your worth. Do your research with the role that you're applying for so that at least you can counter and speak to what you're bringing to the table so that you can get your worth. So built-in is one such website to check for salary ranges. And now, at least in this part of the world, in the United States, organizations or states are requiring that the salary be put on the job itself or the rate of how much the job is going to be. Another such website is salary.com. So you can also go in there and plug in the title of the role that you're looking at. And you can see on a medium level for a senior IT project manager role. Again, maybe if you're just starting out, it's probably going to be 125, but probably even more than that because I've seen many people get roles and they get paid more than the 125. And you can see the lower part is 103, high 148, which is decent at least. Okay. So if you go looking for your salary, please make sure again, because some sites require you now to create an account before they were free. Some are asking you to pay money, but you can always find them on company website. You can find them maybe on linkedin.com, the job description, ask the recruiter or hiring manager how much it is or what their rate is or what the budget is. Platforms like levels.fyi, payscale.com, builtinsight.com, all these are great websites. If you're looking maybe to join tech or something like that, levels.fyi will show you salary ranges for companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, all those places, Netflix and all that stuff. Okay. But you're probably like, okay, Anna, where can I learn about project management? There are multiple places where you can go ahead and learn about project management. You can go on online platforms, books and publications. You can get certifications, professional training, networking, hands-on experience, formal education, free resources, events. There's tons of places where you can go and get that. This is Kate. Kate recently, I won't say recently, late last year, she started her project manager role, making mid 6 figures. Kate joined my program, but it took her about a year plus to get her role. And it took her that long because, first of all, she had to learn about project management and then, ups and downs of just getting a role. But she finally found her yes. And actually, when she found her yes, it was multiple yeses at that time. But she decided to go with a role that she felt resonated with her and also paid her her worth. Okay, so this is Kate. I just wanted to share with you about her. In fact, after she got her role, her family member, her sister, sent me this note. She said, "Hi, Anna. Good morning. How are you? You don't know me. I've heard a lot about you from my sister. Thank you so much for being her mentor. And I know you've helped other people and all that stuff." So she was just thanking me for helping her sister get her project manager role. All right, so that was what definition of what project management is. Next, we're going to talk about your experience and essential skills because You guys in the chat, you shared a couple of skills or rather a couple of things that you feel like you already have, right? That was the first pillar. Now the second pillar is talking about experience and essential skills. So you don't need years of experience to become a project manager, because I saw a lot of people say experience, experience in the chat. You just need to know how to leverage the experience and the skills you already have, because the right skills paired with a strategic approach can make you stand out as a project manager, even if you're just starting out, because your skills do matter, right? So do you have any of these skills? And they're coming up on screen here. So do you feel like you have communication? So just say yes or no or something like that. All right. Leadership, problem solving, time management, adaptability. I see someone earlier said EQ, conflict resolution. Yes. So I see a lot of you have a lot of these skills, and I've not seen a no yet, which is a great thing. You already have some of these skills. So common project management skills, communication. 80 to 90% you're going to be communicating, clearly conveying information in team members. Leadership, you're inspiring, you're guiding your teams toward achieving, those projects goals. You're problem solving, we're addressing challenges, finding effective solutions. And I'm sure you do this in real time, even if you don't have the title of project management itself. You're managing time, you're prioritizing tasks, you're meeting deadlines, you're being adaptable, you're navigating changes and shifting priorities with ease. You're managing conflict, because you're going to have that as a project manager, because people are going to disagree. You're fostering that collaboration. Someone said emotional intelligence, you're understanding and managing emotions to build strong relationships. So these are some of the soft skills, and I'm sure there are many others, but these are common ones that I know at least a lot of us, we can bring from our previous roles into project management. So thanks for sharing. All right. How about these hard skills? So for example, planning with maybe a project management tool, budgeting, risk management, understanding technical skills, agile, waterfall. Okay, Mary says yes, some of them, yes. Data analysis, reporting, and I'm sure there's many others, but I want to just see in the chat. How about these other ones? Yes, Krishna. Lenny says yes. Yes, Mary Jane says yes. Okay, that's awesome. Yes, to some of them. And that is okay, because we cannot be 100% know all of the skills. Some of the skills we learn as we go. For example, project planning, where you are developing things like schedules, utilizing tools like Microsoft Project. If you've heard of things like Jira, maybe Asana, maybe organization using Monday.com, timelines, work breakdown structures. Again, these are things that you learn as you go, because the repetition of some of these things helps you understand how to use these tools. We don't have 100% experience, but once you start using some of these things or doing some of these things, they come naturally to you. Budgeting, you're managing financial resources and ensuring projects stay within budget. You're managing risks, because that's something that you're going to do throughout the project, where you're identifying, analyzing, and mitigating potential risks. You're understanding different tools. We just talked about that. Microsoft Project, Jira, maybe Trello, Asana. You're understanding different project management methodologies like Agile, Waterfall, applying these frameworks to your project, things like data analysis. So all of these things are examples of hard skills. And thanks for sharing. Nanda says she recently earned her CMPM certifications. Congratulations. That's awesome and a great milestone. All right. So you already have the skills. What I'm trying to say here is that you already have the skills. You have, and you understand the difference between the hard skills and the soft skills. Now, if you feel like maybe you don't have some of these hard skills, I want you to take it as a challenge and start identifying which ones they are, and go ahead and start learning them on your own. So that when you get in situations where for interviews and stuff, you can easily speak to them. Okay. Also know your transferable skills, because a lot of us talked about communication, leadership, prioritization, problem solving, and all that stuff. Start, writing them down. So for example, when you say communication, where do you communicate? If you say leadership, where have you led? Think about those things at your current role, because we all have them. Do some type of SWOT analysis. Understand, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are some of the opportunities, threats? Learn some of these skills that will set you apart as you're starting to apply for this role. So keep learning all the required skills, again, to set you apart for some of these roles. But how do you go about developing the right skill set for your project manager role? Again, take online courses. There's tons of courses on platforms like LinkedIn Learning for some free courses if you don't have premium. Again, you can take courses, maybe some colleges or universities do offer some free courses out there. Seriously, go to platforms like maybe Google or whatever search engine that you use and search free courses for blank, and you'll find them. Other platforms would include maybe Coursera, Udemy, YouTube to gain industry specific skills. Look for internships because you want to start gaining that hands-on experience. So if maybe you don't have an opportunity to gain some type of hands-on experience at your current role, start finding other ways. So, for example, you can take a freelance project. You can maybe volunteer at your local community. There are different organizations that have volunteer opportunities. For example, volunteermatch.org, will filter to your local area where you are, and you'll start seeing those kind of things. We have catchafire.org where you can volunteer on projects and gain that experience because you want to continuously develop practical skills to help you speak to when you're in an interview. You also want to stay updated with industry trends. We've seen AI, we've seen machine learning, we've seen a lot of large language models are just coming in and out. Every other day we can hear them. So stay updated with industry trends. It's very, very important. Maybe attending webinars, maybe attending sessions like this, community of practice within your organization. Read newsletters, see what is happening so that also you can keep updated. Seek mentorship and networking opportunities where you will learn from industry professionals and they can share with you how they got where they are. And then practice your soft skills daily. It's very, very important. Practice your soft skills daily. For example, at work on improving your communications. Whether they're speaking communication or written communication, it's very, very important because as a project manager, you're going to be doing this 80 to 90% of your time. So practice writing emails that are communicating to people that you are conveying the information that they need to receive. Actively listening so that when someone is in a meeting and you're in a meeting, you can reiterate and say, is this what you meant? Again, it's practicing. Practice your leadership, your problem solving skill, your organizing, your prioritizing, your active listening. As I said, this is very, very critical for your progress. Okay. Do we need any hard technical skills to thrive in PM career? Also, is this thing on my also PM sets? Okay, we'll talk about project manager certifications here coming up in a few, so you'll see that. But do we need any hard technical skills? When you say any hard technical skills, Vaish, sorry if I said your name wrong. Which ones are you thinking about? Which ones do you have in mind? Please share. All right, this is Andrea. Andrea was an elementary school teacher teaching second grade with a knack for organizing events and managing classroom activities. In fact, Andrea, even though she was a second grade teacher, she also was doing something with her school district because she wanted to use her skills like managing events or something like that. So she transitioned into project management by showcasing her skills in planning, communication, and problem solving. In fact, if you want to listen to Andrea's story, I did have her on my podcast in my episode. You can listen to her story, how she transitioned from being a second grade teacher and now she is a senior project coordinator at a company down in Texas. And she was speaking to me in project management lingo. And when I met this girl, she was like, Anna, I have no idea what you're talking about. But through hard work, she is now leading or rather supporting teams in managing IT type projects within her organization. So be confident and leverage your existing and experience and skills. Be proud of your current job title. So even if you hate it and you're like, I want to leave right now, be proud of it and start documenting some of those things because there's something that you are doing there that's helping the organization maybe move from point A to point B. So start documenting your experiences because every experience matters. Even if you're looking for a new role, look around at what you do and identify your gaps and keep building on that as well. All right. So let me see here. Which LinkedIn or Coursera would you recommend? So T Price, I recommend Project Management Foundations. It is by one of my favorite people on LinkedIn, learning instructors. Her name is Bonnie Biafor, and she has a 3-hour, 30 minutes course. Okay. So if you are interested, so go out there and start that as a foundation first. Okay. And it's a great course. So that you can, it's a great course. You're right. Okay. Can see this thing as well. Hold on here quick. Let me just try and expand it a little. All right. I have 7 years in Salesforce domain as a Salesforce admin and want to transition to PM. But every job role in PM includes data analysis, Python skills, etc. Are there any roles that don't require this? Yes. Is it because you're just applying for roles within those spaces like Salesforce? Because Salesforce is a tech company. So you probably want to get, if you're not looking forward to doing things like AWS or learning Python, maybe start looking outside of tech companies and any other and start looking at other industries. Okay. So I don't have Python and I'm a PM. I don't know, maybe the organization that you are trying to, apply to is asking you as a technical project manager or program manager. So you need to know probably some of these programming languages that they require you to know so that you can be able to speak when your developers are speaking and challenge them and stuff like that, or report to senior management when they need you to share the progress of your project and stuff. But there are many, many roles out here that don't need you to have Python or AWS. Okay. Hope that answer your question. Okay. Yeah. Just to the course. Awesome. You guys awesome. Can you repeat the name of the course? Project Management Foundations by Bonnie Biafor. If you just go on LinkedIn, you'll find it on there. Yeah. 100% for a long time. I thought because I only had experience as events manager. Oh my gosh, as events manager at a restaurant, Fernanda, you do have experience. You are lead, first of all, events manager at a restaurant. A restaurant is a project on its own. From the time you guys open, you have to plan how to, you're going to make sure that your people are coming in and living with a great experience. So pretty much you are maybe customer facing. You are welcoming people. You want to make sure that everything goes well from the time you open to the time you close, or from the time you have your event to the time you close. So you're probably managing a budget. You have a schedule. Maybe you're working with vendors because they're delivering different things to make sure that your event goes successful. You have to secure a location. You have to go with a plan. So you have a project plan where you have your tasks. All these things are project management stuff. It's mini projects. As you said, it's project management plans. Okay. All right. So Mary Jane did share bonus course out there. That's awesome. Okay. That was skills. So let's talk about networking, marketing, branding, education, and certifications. All right. So I also, again, this is interactive. I just want to see what you guys share in the chat. Do you ever feel like no one ever responds to your application? Like you are not confident with yourself and motivated to go out there? Like you are not getting callbacks for your job interview? You put in so much work for, or like you're just not ready for the interview, even on short notice. I want to hear in the chat. Yes to all, no, but what are you guys' thoughts? Yes to all, but the last one. Okay. Yes, all. I'm introverted, but I know I have the skill to do this. Jordan, go over to LinkedIn and search my course. It's under my name, Succeeding in Project Management as an Introvert. Go out there and just take that course. Not ready for interviews. I need help with that. Awesome. We're here to help. Not ready for interviews step yet. Just starting exploration. That's awesome, Mary Jane. All right. I did. I took it. I enjoyed it a lot. Oh, okay. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for taking the course. I'm a career advisor for a technical college, and yet I still struggle being confident in my interviews. Christina, share with us what makes you feel that way. Still in school for a PM. Oh, okay. So Kenya, you're going to school to be a project manager. That's awesome. Just starting being with my company for 9 years. So T Price, are you looking to leave your company after being there for 9 years? I'm probably going to resonate with you because I was at my previous organization for 11 years and I did not want to leave. I don't know if you were here in the beginning. I didn't want to leave because I was so comfortable. I was so, you know, my manager knew my kids, like all that stuff. I was just didn't want to leave, but I had to leave because I could not survive if I could. I'm probably going to be still there up until now because I know a lot of people who still work at that organization to date. Can you imagine? So imposter syndrome, I know, Christina, that sometimes sucks. Yes, T, get out of your comfort zone. You have to just tell yourself, this is it, and just leave. And when you leave, you'll have the biggest aha moment. I had the biggest aha moment when I left. I was like, holy cow, is this like my previous organization? All they had, and this is a good thing because they did a lot of inbuilt systems. So I know that right now they've changed, but at that time a lot of inbuilt systems. So when I first left and had my first interview, they asked me if I was familiar with Jira. I had never heard of Jira, and that time organizations were like 2 years in using Jira. So things like that, I'd never heard of that. So Once I left and started learning all these things, I was like, oh my gosh, where have I been this whole time? All right. Thank you for sharing all this stuff in the chat. So your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn profile are your ultimate marketing documents and tools. I want you to be able to craft them to showcase your value. I want you to tell your story so that you can go ahead and land those project management opportunities you so deserve. Yes, miracles do happen outside the comfort zone. I know some people say you're just saying that, but they do happen because you start realizing how much you can push yourself outside of that, comfort zone, outside the bubble, you just know. And you get exposed. You start meeting other people that you're like, oh my gosh, haha, this actually makes sense. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome that your professor did recommend this for you. Say hello to them and thank them for having you join us today. That's awesome. All right. So your resume is your what? What did you do? So I want you to make sure that you keep it simple. I want you to highlight your impact and be concise. Create that accomplished based resume so that it stands out without it being overly complicated. You want to make sure that you're highlighting what you did, how you did it, and the impact you made. Numbers, outcomes equals impact. This is very, very important because a lot of people, I see them when I see their resumes, they just copy paste the job description or they copy paste their responsibilities. Nothing accomplished. You're going to be rejected when you do that. So don't do that. So you want to share and showcase, did the project that you're working on save the company money? Did it make you money? Did it improve some type of process? By what percent? By how much? This is very, very important. Some people say, I've worked at this company for 15 years. I did this, but what was the accomplishments? And then when it comes to accomplishments, we end up shrinking 20 bullets to maybe 5 bullets. And it is okay because recruiters take 5 to 10 seconds or 6 to 10 seconds perusing through your resume. Can you imagine they have a pile and going through each and every resume? That's so time consuming. So you want to make sure that you are standing out by highlighting your impact, by being concise. Okay. Showcase those measurable outcomes to demonstrate your value. For example, you're not going to say I increased a project. I completed an implementation workflow. Okay. What's making you stand out? Okay. So you want to make sure that you are being concise and sharing maybe you increased efficiency by 25% by implementing a new workflow. That 25% shows some type of metric. I can visualize it that there's some type of improvements. Be concise, use clear action-oriented language to make your accomplishments stand out without overcomplicating stuff. So let's look at a sample resume out here. This is just a sample, but this is what I share with my clients and I teach with my clients as well. All right. All right. So your resume should have your first and your last name. You have a middle initial, that's fine. But first, middle initial, last name, or first, last name, that's fine. Any certification acronyms that you have. So this is very important. So for example, if you've done your MBA, you can put that on there. Maybe you've received your PMP. I think Christina, was it Christina? Sorry, I'm not remembering you right. You said you did your CAP, you passed your CAPM, so you can put your first last name with CAPM because you're showing that you already have that certification. Or maybe you've done AWS or something like that. Now, this is not a place to put like certificates like Google Coursera certificates, no, or LinkedIn Learning certificate. These are certificates from like accredited colleges or universities, like maybe a PMP, MBA, or something like that. And then you could put your title of the opportunity you're applying for, maybe project manager, program manager, delivery lead, delivery manager, scrum master, all that stuff. You can put that there. You're going to put your city and state, at least if you're in this part of the world, you're going to put your city and state. If you're in another part of the world, maybe your province, your country, something like that. At least a location that someone can know where you are. Now, if you are in the United States, city and state is very important but you're not going to put a tiny city like in the country. Maybe you're going to put the closest metro city. So for example, Minneapolis, Minnesota, something like that, or Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas. You're not going to put a tiny town in Texas or a tiny town in Georgia, something like that. So Atlanta, Georgia, if maybe even Atlanta, even if it's 2 hours away from you, you're going to do that. Okay. And then you're going to put your phone number. Your email address is very important. So you're going to put your email address at gmail.com or at outlook.com or at cloud.com, not at yahoo.com. We are not going to put hotmail.com. We are not going to put AOL.com. So if you have any of these emails AOL, Hotmail, Yahoo. I'm requesting you, please go find a Gmail account, go find an Outlook account or a cloud account. You want to be modern. You want to avoid ageism. Someone's like, AOL, oh my gosh, when were they born? And stuff like that. So you want to avoid that kind of stuff. And then your customized LinkedIn link, you want to put it on there, or optimized LinkedIn link. You're going to put your professional summary. It's just pretty much 3 sentences max. Some people want to go on and on talking. Remember, again, recruiters are taking 5 to 10 seconds to read through this. So again, sharing who you are, how many years you've been working and doing a couple of things. Maybe you worked with cross-functional teams and all that stuff. Different tools that different things that you've done, for example, that you know. So for example, your project management skills and tools, you can put those on there. Your technical business skills and tools, you can put them on there, and your communication skills. And then on here, of course, you want to also tailor to the job description, because sometimes if you don't have some of the skills that the job description is asking, some organizations may not pick you as qualified to move on to the next round. Now, you may say, okay, Anna, I don't have experience in Jira. Go ahead and grab YouTube and learn how to do Jira. Take a course on LinkedIn Learning and learn how to do Jira. Don't just sit and wait until you start seeing those job descriptions. Then you're like, oh my gosh, now they're asking about Jira. Then start doing those things now so that when you're ready, you can go for it. Nobody's going to tell you in the interview and say, Heather, pull up your computer. I want to see how you use Jira. Nobody's going to do that. But you're going to tell me, yes, I have experience, limited experience, but I know when I start working with it, I'm going to, it's going to come back very, very quickly. Something like that. Okay. So do not limit yourself or underestimate yourself because you feel like you do not have maybe Microsoft project, you don't have some of these skills, you don't know Agile, Waterfall. There's resources out there to teach you how to do this. Right. And then your experience session, you're going to put, you're going to utilize the XYZ format. So what you did, how you did it, and what was the outcome. You're going to put your title, the year on the title and the place of work, and then the year and if it's maybe present where you currently are or something like that, you can put that on there. And then I want you to start each sentence with a strong action verb. So did you spearhead, you led, you managed, you collaborated, you orchestrated? Those are strong action verbs. So spearheaded and oversaw the blank, whatever it is that you did, for project delivery of a SaaS product. SaaS means like, software as a service product with a capital budget of $6 million. Quickly, one line, someone can see, okay, you managed a budget for $6 million. It was a SaaS product. You spearheaded and oversaw, which means you led. You're doing all these things. You delivered a project. So if you already shared this on the first bullet, you don't need to keep sharing them on job number 3, job number 4, because you already shared it. That's why you need to streamline your resume. Okay, hope that was able to answer your questions. All right, let's move on. So action verbs. So for example, leadership, if you've done leadership, you can say you led, you arranged. If you communicated, you can say you presented, you reported. If you worked on projects, you can say maybe you piloted, you optimized, teamwork, you collaborated, you facilitated. Maybe you're part of analysis, you budgeted. All these things are just examples of action verbs. So powerful action verbs that will make your resume awesome. For example, if you led a project and were in charge from the beginning to the end, skip the word led all the time, because if you're like led. You can say you controlled, you coordinated, you executed, you orchestrated, you produced. Use different action verbs, not just led all the time or managed. If you were part of a project vision or brought a project to life, maybe you administered, you designed, you developed, you found, you implemented. Did you increase efficiency? Maybe sales revenue, customer satisfaction. You achieved, you accelerated, you advanced. Did you change or improve something? You customize, you influence. So there's tons of action verbs that you can use out here on your resume. Yes, Asana does have free classes that you can try as well, and they can give you a budget. So your network is your net worth. Build connections, unlock opportunities, and watch your career grow. This is Irene. Irene now works for a great pharmaceutical company, and with determination and guidance, she landed her first 100K role at a startup. She's no longer the startup. She moved on, but she landed her first role at a startup, transitioning into project management. So her ability to adapt, to lead, to deliver results proved she was ready to thrive in her new career and make new opportunities. But it started with her networking, reaching out to someone at a company that she was interested in. They interviewed her and she was actually hired on the spot. Okay. But you're going to be like, Anna, where am I going to network? So LinkedIn again is one of the places probably where you've seen this ad or something like that, or where you connected with me and stuff. So you can network on LinkedIn, your PMI chapters. So if you are a project manager, and even if you're an aspiring project manager, join your local PMI. Your local organization, maybe your volunteering Facebook groups, maybe masterclasses like this. I'm sure some of you are probably going to network from here. Any meetups, it's very, very important for you to do that. Okay. No, you don't need advanced Excel knowledge. What would you be doing that for, unless you are going to be working on a company that is requiring you to do like things like advanced pivot tables or VLOOKUPs or things like that. Which personally, if you ask me to do a VLOOKUP, I'll mess it up. I'll probably have to look on YouTube how to do it because I've never had a situation where I have to do that as well, unless Vish, the organization, is asking me to know. How do you know what tools you will need? So the common tools that we use as project managers, you'll hear Microsoft Project, you'll hear Asana, you'll hear Jira, you'll hear Confluence. So you'll start seeing them in job description. So if I were you determine which industry that you want to work at, you'll start seeing common tools that are required. So then start learning them on your. I don't want you to spend a lot of time on them, because once you start working in an organization, you will learn by doing. Now you just want to learn the basic knowledge, but you will learn by doing as you go. Yeah. Fernanda says the job description describe them. That is true. Sorry, you answered the question. How do you find the current job? Look at that here in a few. LinkedIn has over 1 billion users as of a couple of years ago. So use it to make sure that you have a professional headline on your LinkedIn profile. You showcase your accomplishments. You're optimizing your skills because you want the algorithm to come towards you. So you wanted that as well. Engage with content. That's very, very important. Outside of liking, you want to engage with content with spaces and people that you feel that you're connected with. Use a strong summary and also ask and receive recommendations. That's very, very important. Okay. I want to quickly talk about LinkedIn because one of the things that a lot of people do is scroll on LinkedIn all day. Like it's up and down. People just up and down scrolling LinkedIn. Please spend maximum maybe an hour on LinkedIn if you have to a day, because it's not Facebook, it's not Instagram, it's not one of those things. It's a platform where you just want to like go in there, maybe do your own posting and then start networking with people, maybe find a recruiter, hiring manager, a fellow project manager that you want to connect with. You're connecting with them and networking with them, but you don't want to go there and just continuously scroll. Like, why are you scrolling and wasting time? That time that you're scrolling and scrolling is trying to take a course, a short course. A lot of courses there max at 4 hours or something like that. And the good thing with LinkedIn is that, some of these courses you can stop. You don't have to do them in one sitting. So use your time wisely when you go to platforms like LinkedIn, connecting with people at places that you want to go work at. And remember, your timeline and your feed will mirror who you've connected with. So if you've connected maybe, and nothing wrong with this, people that you went to high school with and all they talk about is what they did over the weekend, that's what you're going to see on your timeline. But if you want to connect maybe with fellow project managers because you want to see what they're doing, that's what you'll see. So your timeline is going to be curated by the people that you are connected with. So use that wisely. All right. So do you need degrees, certifications, and all that stuff? So some are going to look at the job description, number one. Is it saying 4-year degree? Sometimes some organizations, so quickly, so Jordan just said, I just followed. Make sure you're connecting with the person. Do not follow, because when you follow them, they will not see your posts when you post, and maybe they want to tag you on something and something like that. So make sure you click more and connect to them, or if the connect button is in front of the screen, please connect to them. Okay, so do you need a degree? So again, look at the job description. Majority of the companies will say bachelor's. Some probably will say a master's, but majority of company will say a bachelor's. PMI certifications. So some companies will say PMP, CAPM, or whatever certifications from PMI required. Some of them will say preferred. Or some of them will say if you plan to get it by a specific date. So make sure you're paying attention to see what are those. So that's why I'm saying you don't need a degree, and you don't need a certification, but pay attention to the job description. Okay. Other certifications would include things like a Scrum Master certification, which you can get from scrumalliance.org, Google Coursera, under Google, Coursera, LinkedIn Learning. But these are not certifications. Like the Scrum Master certifications, yes, you can put after your name. But the Google Coursera is not a certification you're going to put after your name, like on your resume or something like that. Boot camps, YouTube, Google, all these places as well. Okay. All right. Apply even if you don't have a degree. Sometimes it's not always actually a requirement. Yep, that's true. Yeah, do not lie. Okay. Okay, so know and be aware of what certifications you need though, because certifications not only open the door for you, but I want you again to be aware of which ones are required. Get the ones that are in most demand. So when you're looking, for example, like let's say the PMI certifications, the PMP, CAPM, they are mostly in demand in project management roles. But again, check the job description. Some people have found, including myself, that I got an increase when I got my certification. So it could be something that could open doors for you from a monetary perspective. So look at things like that, or something like your CSM, your Certified Scrum Master certifications. Look at some of those certifications and determine which ones you want to go for. I do teach the PMP certification. I'm a certified and approved trainer partner through PMI. So if you're looking to get your certification, reach out to me personally. Just send me a message on LinkedIn and we can talk about it. But certifications will help validate your existing skills and experience because they make you stand out and seen as an expert in the field of certifications from renowned organizations, like I said, PMI or Scrum Alliance. Okay, so these are the symbols. PMI looks like this is the logo for PMI. This is the logo for Scrum Alliance. So visit pmi.org for more information. Visit scrumalliance.org for more information. Okay. How would you advise to be best way to get remote roles in PM? I'm based outside of the US and it's a different ballgame. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Okay. All right. The fourth pillar is how to confidently prepare for your project manager interview and overcome self-doubt. So confidence starts with preparation. Master the questions. It's important for you to also showcase your skills and silence that self-doubt to ace your interview. Because sometimes you're like, I'm all ready for the interview, but recruiters are calling you and calling you and calling you. You have to be ready to showcase that. You have to be ready to confidently show that you are a great fit or a great addition for the role. So before you go for the interview, research the company. Prepare for behavioral and situational questions. This is very important. Highlight key skills, emphasize metrics, and practice common questions. So when you're researching the company, you want to make sure that you're understanding their goals, their projects, any challenges that so that they can align with your answers. It's very important to do that. Prepare for behavioral interview questions. So behavioral interview questions, you'll hear people talk about the STAR method. So I prefer the STAR method. Some people say they love the PAR method. I do love the STAR method. STAR stands for situation, task, action, results. And so you want to tee up your answers showcasing what was the situation, what was the task, what was the action, and what was the result. And we'll look at a couple of questions here. Highlight your skills, showcase maybe any leaderships that you have, communication, problem solving, through real world examples. They want to show that, but you want to do that by emphasizing and showcasing your metrics because you want to discuss the project. Did you save the company money, make money, or improve the process? Practice common scenario questions. Be ready to handle questions on risk management, how you engage with stakeholders, how you communicate with the stakeholders, how you manage conflict, and many, many other questions, I'm sure. But this is just an example. All right. So this is Rejoice. Rejoice is based out of Ireland. Rejoice joined my program 3 years ago, and she was struggling with interviewing. She wanted to get a promotion within her organization, but she was struggling. So we started a process, and eventually she ended up getting the role. And now she's managing very large projects at her company, where she got a promotion and a raise as well. So again, when you get an interview, this is the process. You're probably going to get a call from a recruiter. It's going to be a phone interview, maybe 15 to 30 minutes. Hey, Heather, you look like a great fit for the role, or they'll email you. Do you have 10 minutes for us to speak about the role? 15 or 30 minutes. So it's going to start like that. And then they're probably going to invite you for an in-person or Zoom or Teams interview where you're going to maybe get a couple of questions, including behavioral questions, technical interviews. Some organizations, like let's say Meta, they do love their case study interviews. Maybe you may have a couple of people during the interview. So like a panel of people who will interview, and then competency-based interview. So it's important for you to pay attention to all of this. And as you're preparing, we just talked about behavioral questions, technical interviews. They want to test your knowledge in project management methodologies, the tools, the different technical skills if you have any. Case study, they will probably give you a case study. They want to evaluate your ability to solve real world problem challenges through problem solving exercises. Panel interviews, again, involving a couple of people on those interviews. And then, competency-based interviews where they're testing your proficiency in key project management competencies, like maybe risk management, maybe, budgeting, leadership, and things like that. Oh, yeah, Heather, how did that go? Did you get the role after you had a 3-panel interview? Let us know. That is okay. And that means that was just redirecting you to your next opportunity. So hopefully you took some knowledge and experience and lessons learned from that no and redirect it to continuously planning for your next one. Okay. So your marketing documents are the ones that you have. So you'll need those as well. So your marketing documents, again, are your LinkedIn profile, maybe your cover letter if your organization needs one, and your resume. They will get you the interview. Wherever you have all these documents, they will get you your interview. So whether you have them on LinkedIn, whether you have them on other job boards, they will get you your interview. So it's important, again, to tailor them to the roles that you have. Heather, I wanted to tell you that even if you got a no, it's a big step that someone called you to interview you. So see that as a small step towards your final opportunity. So even if you're getting no's right now, it's important. Okay. So yeah, a lot of portals do not require cover letters right now, but if an organization, they've left a space on there for cover letter, and maybe it has a little asterisk to it, add a cover letter. It's very important. Add a cover letter because you never know. Okay. Maybe it will be one thing too that will separate you. So your staff will come from, or calls from interviews will come from your applications, maybe referrals, agency, networking. You have to just step out of your bubble. You cannot live in your bubble or apply and wait. Don't do that. Apply and do some more. Apply and reach out to a recruiter in that company. Apply and reach out to a fellow project manager in that company. Apply and continuously research that organization so that you're staying ready, so that you don't have to get ready for your next opportunity. Get out of your bubble and spread your wings, for lack of a better word. All right. So a couple of places you can find jobs, online job boards. Okay. So we have tons. We have LinkedIn, we have Dice, we have tons of, Glassdoor, we have Indeed, Simply Hired, some of those, just a couple of websites. Again, I said Dice. We have Well-Found for startups, company career pages. So make sure you're looking at company career pages at companies that you want to work for. Now, if you find a role, let's say on LinkedIn, project manager, make sure you go first of all again to the company website and see, is the role even there? And see if the role is on that company website, then you can go ahead and apply, because sometimes it's probably still on LinkedIn. Maybe it hasn't been pulled down, and maybe the organization has already found someone for that role. Now, once you apply for the role, get that requisition number. Now start going on back to LinkedIn and finding a recruiter, hiring manager, someone who works in that organization, and let them know, hey, my name is Anna. I just applied for project manager role, requisition number 123. Are you available would you be the one hiring for this opportunity? Are you available for 5 or 10 minutes to speak with you about the role? I'm also happy to connect. Okay. Yes, it's important to let your network know that you are in the market. You cannot just sit. I found my first connections on LinkedIn did not respond to requests, question about potential opportunities. I don't understand what that means. Recruitment agencies, networking platforms, job fairs, referrals, that's a big one as well. Okay. All right. So let's look at a couple of interview samples. So the first question you're probably going to get is, tell me about yourself. This is a question that you have to always be ready about. It's a summary of your professional background and why you're a fit for the role. So formula is current, past, future. Okay. Current, past, future. Start with your current role or experience, highlight your key achievements related to project management, and with why you are excited about the current opportunity. Hey, my name is Anna. I'm currently a project manager with 5 years of experience leading projects ranging from small initiatives to large-scale efforts with budgets of $1 million plus, collaborating with 5+ cross-functional teams in the tech industry. Pause. Most recently, so you talk about your current, they're still talking about your current. Most recently, first person. I successfully delivered a CRM implementation that improved efficiency by 20%. Now you've talked about your current. Now you go now to your past. Before that, I worked as a project manager in healthcare where I led a system immigration project that saved the organization 75% in operational costs and improved workflow efficiencies. That's the past. Future. I'm excited to to take a new challenge, lead transformative projects, and leverage my leadership and organizational expertise to deliver impactful results while contributing to your team's success and long-term goals. Pause. Maximum 2 minutes. You're not going on and on and on. My name is Anna. I went to high school here. I live in this particular city. I go to church here. I graduated from college. From college, I went to law school. From law school, I did my degree. And then from there, not that nobody wants. You already have it on your resume somewhere, okay? Nobody's underestimating your experience, but keep it short. Current, past, future. It's very, very important. So if you've not been doing this and maybe meandering and going on and on and on, you don't want to bore the person. And most importantly, also, people lose attention after 2 minutes, majority of the time, unless you have to intentionally be paying attention. But if you start seeing the recruiter maybe writing something down, they're like, oh my gosh, when is she going to be done? Or they're going to be done with whatever they're saying. So keep it 2 minutes maximum. Hopefully that was helpful. All right, so situational questions. They're gonna ask you like situational questions like, what would you do? Like, how do you handle things like scope creep? So scope creep, for those who don't know, is let's say you're working on your kitchen and you've already told your contractor this is what we're gonna be working on. But maybe you go to my house and you see, oh, I had a specific feature on my kitchen that you're like, oh, it will look nice on my kitchen. And you go back and tell your contractor, can we add this feature? Your contractor is like, oh, we don't have the budget. You're like, no, but can you just add it? That's scope creep. You're adding stuff outside of what you're not like planned on. Okay. So that's what happened in projects as well. You start working on your projects, your team has put together the requirements, then at some point, another team comes in or your leader comes in. Can we add this? That's scope creep. So you're gonna get those as a project manager. They're gonna ask you, how do you handle that? So they're looking for how, or rather, your ability to manage changes without derailing the project. And how you're gonna answer that, explain how you identify and document scope changes, highlight how you communicate with stakeholders and adjust the plans, and also emphasize staying within budget and also within schedule. I'm not going to read this answer, but you get the gist. They want to just see how do you handle it? What would you do as a project manager? And remember, as a project manager, you're a leader. So I would do this. I evaluate the impact. I look at the timeline. I look at the budget. Is it impacting our final deliverables? If it is, you find ways. What kind of risks will we have? So think about those things as you are handling situational questions. So situational questions are questions that will ask you, what would you do in this situation? Excuse me. All right. And then you'll hear behavioral questions. So behavioral questions, this is where you're going to use your STAR methodology. You're going to ask you what you did in the past. All right. So can you give an example of a challenging project you led and how you managed it? You can hear from the tone of the question, it's something from the past. How did you problem solve? How did you work under pressure? So you want to use your STAR method. Focus on collaboration for the purposes of this question, creativity and outcome. In my last project, we faced blank. I did this. I worked with yes, you worked with your team, but first show yourself as a leader. What did you do? I did blank. Because a lot of people will start saying, we worked on a project, we did this, and someone's like, what was your role? You and who? So showcase first what you did. I led, I managed, I organized, I orchestrated, whatever it is, with my team. Okay. All right. So highlight your skills effectively during your interview. Use the STAR methodology and storytelling techniques. Picture you and your friend. You haven't seen each other for a long time. You're meeting out for lunch, coffee after a long time, and they're asking you, hey, how's your project going? Okay. You're telling them a story for Can you imagine the project that I was working on? First of all, I was working on a large project. It was about $2 million. This project, my role was to make sure that we were able to help the organization save blank in 2 months. So my role is you're telling a story, and me out there, I'm like, so then what happened next? You want to reel in the person who's interviewing you so that they're like, this person looks like a great addition on our team, and they're going to be a great fit because of how they were able to complete some of these things that she's sharing with us. Okay. So again, style allows you to structure your responses effectively where you are providing examples from your own experiences. Engage the person who's interviewing you with stories that will showcase how you apply these skills in real world situations. Make them relatable, make them memorable. Demonstrate and show results. Tailor and align your skills to the job description. Okay. Showcase that you are open to learning. Sorry about that spelling. And composure by maintaining eye contact. It's very important. Listening actively and also communicating effectively. This is very, very important as well. But how do I prepare to be confident? Again, prepare thoroughly. Reframe negative thoughts going in, I don't think I'm going to get the role. If you start thinking like that, even whatever energy you're bringing to the interview he's not going to, no positive energy is going to come with you. So refrain from negative energy. Just go in there knowing this is my opportunity. I'm here because I'm qualified. I'm here because they reached out to me. I'm here because I'm going to bring value to company ABC. Create your star story. So as you are getting ready to interview, as you're getting ready for recruiters to reach out to you, it's important for you to start writing down your stories. Do not waste time so that you are struggling to get ready. Stay ready. Write down your stories now so that you can just continuously look at them. So that when you get that phone call, are you available now? Yes, I am available now. Are you available within the next 2 hours? Yes, I'm available. You start saying, are you available now? No, can we meet next week at 4 p.m. on Thursday? That's giving them a whole week. They're going to reach out to the next person. So stay ready so that get ready right now so that you're always staying ready. Practice, seek support if you need to, and take action. Okay. This is more says that Anna helped me navigate the world of projects. Interview prepping was a big difference in landing me my role. Today's market is tough and you need someone to help you and mentor you and hold your hand. Mo is a PMP certified project manager working at amazing projects down over in Atlanta, Georgia. So success is not determined by where you start, but by the actions you take and the skills you develop along the way. But a lot of people talked about experience. So again, I want you to leverage your transferable skills. Many roles already involve project management tasks like planning, organizing, problem solving. For example, coordinating team events. Someone talk about restaurant events, managing, overseeing deliverables are all project management activities. You also make sure that you're highlighting your leadership abilities. If you've ever led a team, delegated tasks, even in your own home, guided others towards achieving a goal, they're key to project management. So make sure that you're emphasizing that. Showcase your communication skills. Clear and effective communication is part and parcel of being a project manager, whether you're communicating with your team, your stakeholders, your team, as well. This is essential because 80 to 90% of the time you're going to be doing that. You want to utilize organizational strengths by managing things like deadlines, handling multiple priorities, streamlining processes in your current role directly translates to things like project management, and then just emphasize that problem solving. If you've ever tackled challenges, resolved conflicts, optimized workflows, all that stuff is project management. Okay. This is Catherine. Catherine was an elementary school principal with a goal to get her role before she signed her contract for the next academic year. She reached out to me April of 2022 or something like that. And she joined the program within a week and landed her role in June, right before signing her contract, June 30th of that specific year. And she was like, I have to leave because she had a toddler. Not at all, an infant at that time, and she was having trouble, her child at that time was not wanting to take formula and stuff like that, so she had to nurse. So she was just having trouble being away from her infant at that time. Anyway, to make the long story short, this is her message that she reached out to me on LinkedIn. She was referred to someone to me, and we started working together immediately. Catherine was able to get an interview with AWS, the tech company. She was interviewed for a level 5 role, but through preparation and through interview prep, she ended up being given level 7 as a senior program manager over at AWS. Right now, Catherine is leading AI and machine learning type projects over at AWS. Never in her wildest dreams. I reached out to her a couple of weeks ago and said, did you ever imagine? She's like, Anna, sometimes I pinch myself. I can't even imagine. Number one, I'm at AWS. Number two, I'm managing very technical projects. She speaks all these languages that sometimes I'm like, what are you talking about that? So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that she was an elementary school principal. She had zero experience. In fact, when I met her, she had just started doing her Google Coursera course, which she just finished like a year ago, something like that. So she doesn't have a PMP, but she, through prepping and putting together her stories, and I always use Catherine's stories as an example with people in the community because this girl wrote down all her stories, her experiences as an elementary school principal. So she didn't say that she talked about, her teachers, but she talked about them as her cross-functional or her team, her cross-functional team. She talked about parents as her stakeholders. So we had to change the lingo a little bit, but now she is over at AWS managing large projects. So can you imagine what it would feel like to confidently step into your first PM role, knowing you have the skills, you have the experience, you have the strategy to succeed in your career? Is it yes or no? Yes or no? Would you imagine? Do you feel like just based on this conversation that you have the skills, that you have the knowledge, that you have the expertise, that you can do it? Yeah. Who's going to say, yes, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Kenya says yes. Yorita says yes. Okay. That's awesome. Mary Anderson Afua says, yes, I have the skills. I feel like I have a better understanding of everything that goes into transition. Okay, Christina Garcia says, yeah. Chitra says, yes. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Now you have two options. You can take everything I've shared with you today in this masterclass and discover the proven system and blueprint from someone who hasn't just done it, but has mastered it. I do have a blueprint in here. So you can take everything I've shared with you and, go ahead and use it, do your research and all that stuff. Or you can go ahead and come to my program. I'm here so that you no longer feel overwhelmed in your application. I don't want you to feel frustrated on how to craft your resume and your LinkedIn profile. I don't want you to feel rejected. Okay. Lack of confidence, not knowing where to search, wondering how to ask for time and more money. I'm here for that. And I'm inviting you, if you're interested, into my project manager blueprint program. It's a 7 steps to your 6-figure project manager role. Chitra says, I'm already PMP certified, but didn't use the opportunity to become PM. No, that is okay. It is today you're here, Chitra. Start from today. That was the past. We cannot bring it. My dad always says, time wasted will never be recovered. My dad used to say that a lot. And I'm not saying you wasted your time, but that's the past. Now you're starting here, going to the future. So if you're interested, again, I'm inviting you to my course here. In this course, you learn how to transition into project management in 7 steps, even if you have no experience. In 11 weeks, we're going to train so that you can get that traction and also get that transformation and land roles in places like some of these people landed. I want you to make sure that you are utilizing your time to support you. But you're here because you're ready for change. You want guidance and you see your potential. Personally, I'm not special. I'm just someone who chose to take action. I chose to learn and grow. You saw my story from the beginning. I had stayed at that company for 11 years, but I had to change. I have taken the same knowledge and strategies that helped me land my own project manager role and now use them to guide others in the journey. Through persistence, preparation, proven methods, I've helped countless aspiring PMs and career changes, step into the field and achieve their goals. And if I can do it, trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. And I know I'm speaking to you guys right now, but I'm very much an introvert. It took me a while to get out of that bubble when I was looking for my next role. So I want you to skip the overwhelm because you don't have to figure it all out alone. I've been where you are and know the exact steps to take. I also want you to learn the proven strategies that helped me and also other people land their roles in project management, even without prior experience, and stop overthinking and start taking action. Okay. I want you to do that as well. All right. So again, if you join the program, we'll start from the beginning. If you've never done project management, this is your opportunity, or rather you're feeling like you want to learn from the beginning, this is your opportunity to learn project management foundations, building your project management portfolio. So we are going to do a hands-on project. We finished one with the previous class. It was an amazing project. I really loved how everybody was participating, learning, understanding the different tools that we are using, creating a standout resume and a LinkedIn profile. I'm going to help you with that. Mastering your targeted job search, nailing different project management interviews. Don't be like me. When I started, I used to save this, I save this, I save this, and then I have everything all together. Then I feel overwhelmed. Okay. You feel overwhelmed. I'm so happy to hear, Christina, that you're so hungry for this. I'm hoping that you can join us. So I used to feel overwhelmed. I'm saving this document, I'm saving this link. So everything. And then when I come back to everything, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And I don't want you to do that, because when you invest, you pay attention. I've organized everything for you. All you have to do is to pay attention. So this is Lydia, actually. So I don't know if Lydia is still on the call, but Lydia reached out to me through a post that a friend had posted on Facebook. And so a friend had posted about me, like just sharing, Anna does this and all that stuff. So she did share that. And then she sent me this message. Okay. She sent me this message and, hey, Anna, I just saw Doreen's message and all that stuff. We ended up having a phone call. She joined the program in February, and within 2 months, in April, she started her first role. So she came from making $18 an hour to making her first 6-figure project manager role. If she wasn't the call, she would have shared with you her story, but maybe some other day. Think about it as a first step toward transforming your career and also giving you that income potential. Okay. Because I hear this a lot. I also hear, I don't have enough experience to be a project manager. We already talked about this. We all have experience. The transferable skills are a starting point. And I get it. Feeling like you don't have enough experience can be sometimes overwhelming. But here's the truth. Many successful project managers started without that experience. I started on the phone, literally on the phone. And what I did, I called the project management office and said, hey, do you guys have any projects? So they said, yeah, come. And then that's how I started, through doing that. So again, you don't have to have an experience. This program is designed to show you how to leverage your existing skills, gain relevant experience, and position yourself as the perfect candidate. You don't need years of experience. In fact, sometimes years of experience don't equate like you are an experienced PM. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm ready to make such a big career change. Again, making a big career change can feel sometimes intimidating, but it's also where most career growth happens. For me, at least when I left my bubble, that's where growth happened. So staying in your comfort zone will hinder you from growth. But you've been thinking about project management, it's because you see potential in yourself. You see yourself in that place. So this program is designed to support every step of the way, giving you confidence, the tools, the clarity to support you in doing that as well. I don't have time. I don't have time to do this, to commit to another program. Again, I completely understand. Life gets busy, but why our program is flexible. Think about, what's your why? Why do I want to do this? Why am I itching to be a project manager? You'll always find time to, tailor or find pockets of time. I always call them pockets of time to make sure you are doing this and helping you get closer to your next role. I had a client, which you'll probably see her testimonial. She was a nurse and she was tired of being on the bedside. And she's like, Anna, I want to get out and just follow the program. Within 7 weeks, even before we finished the program, she already got her role. And I'm not saying, some people it takes them longer, some people it takes them shorter. But you can see she was coming from a non-traditional background. She was a registered nurse. She said, I cannot believe it took me this long to make this transition. I was facing burnout as an RN with 2 little boys, and I had to get away from bedside nursing. After Anna worked with me on my resume, LinkedIn profile, I got an offer. This transition took her 7 weeks, and now she's able to spend time with her boys. And yesterday she shared this on one of the, Bonnie shared this masterclass, and she commented and said, again, Anna gave me my life back from bedside nursing, and she thanked me as well. So this could be you as well. Miriam, she got this role that she is currently at. She's based out of Canada, out of a networking. So someone reached out to me and said, Anna, I'm looking for a project manager in Canada. Do you have anyone in your community? And I told her, and another lady as well, who was also in the community, and both of them were in Canada. They both interviewed without knowing, and both of them ended up getting the role. This was through networking. This is Adora. Adora was a director of a big tech company. She was able also to reach out to me and I was able to support her. She was like, Anna, I've been a project manager for such a long time. I don't feel like going online to start doing everything. I just want one place, dedicated place where I can do this and you can support me. And that's how she ended up getting her role. But the way she got her role was interesting because she kept on posting on LinkedIn. And one day someone reached out to her and said, you look like a great fit. And the rest is history. This is Maggie. Maggie also was impacted by her organization. So there was a reorg and she was laid off, part of that reorg. But she ended up getting her role after. She was doing data analysis in the beginning, but she wanted to move her data analysis into project management. And now she ended up getting her role through us. So these are just some stories. Jay, she was in the military. She wanted a one-stop shop. She had just come back from deployment and she's like, I just want to get a role. And she used our program. Edna was immigrating from Kenya to the US, and she actually got the program when she was still in Kenya, so that when she got here, she could accelerate, and she ended up getting her role after all her paperwork was completed and all that stuff within 3 months, same as Melba. So these are just stories of people who have been in your shoes. This is the year we want to get congratulations, you finally landed your project manager role. So as I say it again, I hope this is the year we get the words congratulations. You have been offered that project manager role, whether it's a project manager, project coordinator, program manager, program analyst, project specialist, all kinds of roles within the project management space. I'm hoping that this is the year and many, many years to come that you will find your role within the project management space. Now, I know a couple of you probably have questions for me, so feel free to book your call. This is the link that you can book your call, and when you book a call, please show up for the call. But if you feel like I've answered all your questions and you like to work with me, feel free to reach out. So if you want to get your PMP, I'm happy to support you because I've helped people gain and get their PMP and pass their PMP on their first try. So I teach the PMP. I'm an authorized trainer partner with the PMI. So reach out to me for that. Or if you just want to get career coaching because you want that one-stop shop to support you in, getting your next project manager role, I am here as well. Reach out to me. But if you want to talk further because you have additional questions, feel free to book your call. That's the link. I'll also put it in the chat for you to go ahead and book your call. And I'll also put an email address that you can email me with your questions. Now, please don't email me your resume because I'm not going to look at it unless you want some kind of paid service. But outside of that, I'm hoping again I've answered all your questions, and I wish you nothing but the best in your search for your next project manager role. Thank you so much for joining me today.